Hello, my name is NIZHNIKAU. I am a senior researcher from the Finnish Institute of International Affairs, Helsinki. And I had the privilege to speak at the conference about the policies of the external actors in post-Soviet space and the effects of these policies on the institutional building as well as the prospect of change. And to do that, I primarily outlined the key limitations to institutional change in these countries, which I primarily identified with the specific premises of domestic institutions and the domination of entrenched elites in the power structures. And I specifically looked at the case of Ukraine, and I in particular identified 2013-2014 events as a perfect precondition for institutional change in Ukraine, which I traced on the basis of the EU policies during the forthcoming years. And by looking at by tracing the change on the ground in the key reform areas, I looked how the EU engaged with domestic actors trying to reform economic political institutions in Ukraine, and try to identify why actually we've seen such such few success stories. And in this regard, my key point was that we primarily see that the EU policies reinforced the domestic entrenched elites, which maintained the exclusive access to key political and economic organizations and prevented the newly emerged social forces from actually trying to gain access to political organizations as well as acquire and maintain political and civic rights. And in this regard, what I was trying to say is that the EU policies should look better at the possible ways, first, to increase commitment and between the elites and foster the enforcement of rights and these commitments, as well as primarily try to empower the bottom-up actors to actually get the rights, access organizations, and remake the rules, which will make the political opportunity playing field more equal and participatory. And the key point which I tried to make is that when we look at institutional change, primarily it requires exactly the participation of non-state actors, which are primarily deprived of the opportunity to engage in protecting their interests and rights. And in 2014, we've seen a unique situation in post-Soviet space when the social change, which means that the creation of a political nation and, let's say, emergence of a critical mass of the citizens in the country outstrip the existing institutions. Unfortunately, though we've seen that these actors were able to make a prolific breakthrough in a number of areas during 2014, unfortunately they were not sufficiently supported from within and from outside to actually make these changes much more sustainable. And in this regard, we have to rethink how the external actors, and we particularly talk about the European Union and the US, can rethink their policies, which would focus more on societies rather than elites.